you ready for the truth? Bring it on.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Do you want the whole truth?
I don't think you're ready.
Governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people.
It's Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth. Here comes the truth.
Welcome back. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth, AFR Talk. Great to be with you. Go to the Facebook page if you're digging the show. Even if you're not digging it, go to the Facebook page. Check it out. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth, American Family Radio. That's right. Proudly on AFR Talk. All right. Want to get to the segment on Eric Holder. This morning I was going over some of the statements that Eric Holder, our Attorney General, said at the NAACP convention speech. And I thought to myself, well, I've talked about how never let a crisis go to waste. We got a lot of emotion, we've got attention, and we, meaning whatever movement that you're particularly talking about. I'm talking about what has happened in the George Zimmerman case with the media malpractice and injecting race into it. Inaccurately, by the way. And the campaign by the Department of Justice, coordination with the National Action Network, that would be Al Sharpton's group. And the idea that, okay, we've got a lot of attention. We can't get them on the civil rights stuff. The FBI says the evidence really isn't there. And we really can't get Zimmerman on self-defense because that's what the jury ruled. We can't get that. So what can we get out of this? Well, we can go after the stand your ground law. That's what we can do. And then we can have a conversation about race, because race, if you inject race into anything, you don't have to make it about the truth. You can pretty much write your own script. MSNBC does it, and many of the alphabet soup networks do it, because they'll invent news. They'll edit news to make something controversial that's not controversial, or make just, in essence, lie to you. They'll just come out and lie to you. They'll remove questions to make it look like Zimmerman was race-obsessed. They'll try to translate words like cold into something else. Yeah, that's what happened. So I'm glad it's coming to light. A lot of people have been on the story for so long about how media is not telling you the truth and distorting things. I think that's a good thing that this is coming to light. I have to ask myself, what's good about this? Sometimes I ask God, what is good about this, God? Help me out here. And what's good about it is you're hearing the truth. I mean, you think about the campaign that has taken place over the last year. And if you go to Breitbart.com, you'll see a timeline of how to gin up controversy over a issue that wasn't a part of it. How to advance a false narrative. Well, here is Eric Holder making his case about what he, as Attorney General, and America needs to do in regard to Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman. Roll it.
We must confront the underlying attitudes, the mistaken beliefs, and the unfortunate stereotypes that serve too often as the basis for police action and private judgments. Separate and apart from the case that has drawn the nation's attention, it's time to question laws that senselessly expand the concept of self-defense and sow dangerous conflict in our neighborhoods. These laws try to fix something that was never broken. There has always been a legal defense for using deadly force if, and the if is important, if no safe retreat is available. But we must examine laws that take this further by eliminating the common sense an age-old requirement that people who feel threatened have a duty to retreat outside their home if they can do so safely. By allowing and perhaps encouraging violent situations to escalate in public, such laws undermine public safety. The list of resulting tragedies is long and unfortunately has victimized too many who are innocent.
Enough, he's talking about stand your ground laws, which have disproportionately benefited black Americans, at least in the state of Florida. And we're talking proportionally here. What does that mean? They've used it as a defense. See, the law of stand your ground that he's about to attack has helped the very people that he says, well, in essence, that we're all getting victimized. Well, this law that he wants to tear down is actually saving lives and has been used in the defense successfully to do just that in Florida by black Floridians. And, well, roll it.
We must stand our ground to ensure that our laws reduce violence and take a hard look at laws that contribute to more violence than they prevent. We must also seek a dialogue on attitudes about violence.
Seek a dialogue, okay. Now, Patrick Hawley from the Daily Caller wrote a great piece. Blacks benefit from Florida stand your ground law at disproportionate rate. And the stats are there about how the law has been used as a defense successfully 55% of the time when it comes to black Floridians using this. So, invoking this law as a reason for them to defend themselves. Here's my point. This is about gun violence. That's what he wants to go after. They couldn't do it with Columbine, and they can't do the civil rights thing with Trayvon George Zimmerman case. So now they're going to go to gun violence, and they're going to continue to say, well, this is the law. This law wasn't a part of this case. It was a clear case of self-defense. It wasn't about retreat or fleeing. It was a clear case of self-defense and how it was measured. Now, when you have this not even part of the law and you can't get the civil rights part because that was never a part of it, then you use this to exploit it. And I'm telling you, he has a history of going after guns and using race to do it. Here he is in 94. Clinton Justice Department. Roll it.
I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
We have to do that because the truth is not on our side. We have to brainwash because the truth is not on our side. 2 million, 2.5 million times a year, guns are used in defense. And a good measure of those, a good portion of those, don't involve the actual shooting of a gun. It's just the presentation of the gun. When it comes to race, the Attorney General has a point of view about our country and our country's ability to discuss race. On the flip side, we'll talk about that and how it impacts every one of the issues that we've been talking about and how it's the last place for this administration and those that are supporting the policies can go. And I'll explain that on the flip side. Crane Durham's Nothing But Truth, AFR Talk.